Want a soar? Get a mentor. Hey, it's Nina Carmichael, and we made these videos. It's because you're probably the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more and you need a push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, my husband Evan Carmichael, and learn whenever you want to say no, say this instead. Enjoy. Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1. Don't take no for an answer.
Swap your no's for not yets. No is so final. No means it's over. There's no path back, right? It's a no, it's final, it's over. Finish line, we're done, right? Not yet means there's still hope. There's still a path. And I think for any entrepreneur, part of what we're doing is so visionary, it's so different, it's so new. There's gonna be a lot of people who don't agree with what you're doing because you're challenging the status quo, because you're trying to do something that hasn't been done before. And there's a lot of people who like the way that it's happening right now. And so most people make decisions from their brain, just the logical, practical side of their brain. We're entrepreneurs, what we do best is we make decisions from our heart. And so the brain can only imagine a world that currently exists, right? It's logical, it's practical, it's what currently exists, where your heart can create something brand new that hasn't existed yet before, yet. And so you got to turn the nose. When somebody says no, it's not going to happen. You're never going to make it. You're not good enough. You don't have the resources. You don't have the knowledge. You don't have the connections. You don't come from the right family. You're not born in the right country, right? Whatever that no is, just turn it into not yet. Just wait. Just watch me. I'm coming. So right now I'm going through the process of getting my next book published. And publishing a book is not an easy thing. Even if you had a lot of success in the past, most publishers will say no. And in my first book deal, we reached out to, I want to say 30 companies, 30 different publishing companies, and we got 4 people to say yes to it, right? And those four companies then bid against each other, ended up going with Penguin Random House, and Your One Word was born. Now I'm going through the next process, and we've approached 2 different publishers already, and they both said no. They both said no. I was like, this book is amazing. I love this book. It's my heart and soul. It's everything. And how much have I grown in the past 3 or 4 years since my last book came out? A lot, right? Almost 2 million subscribers on YouTube, 250 million views, all these channels, growing on Instagram, doing a tour. Like, I've grown so much over the past couple of years since my first book, and still it's a no. It's a no from 2 different publishers that I approached. And it hurts, right? It hurts. It's like, come on, how could you say no? This is such a great idea, and I know that it will work because I've seen the content help people. It's not a no, it's just a not yet. And it may not be with that publisher, it may be with another publisher, but you can't give up, you can't quit, right? If I quit every time I got a no on a book deal, on a YouTube video, on a proposal, right? If you quit the first time out, you're never gonna make it. And so yes, the first 2 companies I approached for my publishing deal, they said no. It's okay, I don't hold it against them. I'm not out to prove them wrong. I'm not out to show you that you made a mistake on not betting on me this time around. It's just a not yet. I'm going to find my company and I'm going to crush it. And I think that's the mindset that you need to adopt as an entrepreneur. So I'm going to give you a 3-step process on how to ingrain this and use it every day in your business. Step number 1 is watch your thoughts and language. Your thoughts and your language is so important. It's what you tell yourself on a daily basis, what's going on in here and what's coming out of here, right? It's so important. That's who you are. And so you need to pay mindful attention to the things that you're thinking about and the words that you're saying. And so just as an example, you want to swap your no's for not yets. Whenever you're talking about a deal that hasn't come through, it's not a no, it's just a not yet. Just making that subtle shift. Anytime you catch yourself saying, no, it's not possible, nobody's going to buy from me, it's never going to happen. Any of those common threads, that negative self-talk, those negative limiting personal beliefs, whenever you catch yourself saying it, then you swap it for not yet. And as a bonus tip, have somebody hold you accountable. Have somebody in your life that you love, that you respect, that is around you, that you can say, hey, listen, anytime you catch me saying any of these negative things, you hear me saying, no, it's not possible, it's never going to happen, remind me. I want you to remind me. Swap it out for not yet. Step number 2 is remember your why. The thing that gets you through the difficult paths in your business is your why. Why are you doing this? If you're doing it only to make money, you're going to quit. It's why following your passion is the #1 rule for success across everybody who's had success, not just entrepreneurs, but musicians and actors and anybody who's reached the top. They follow their passion. They love doing the thing. You have to, because you're going to quit. If it's just making money, you will quit as soon as it gets hard. And so the thing that keeps you going when everybody else quits is your why. Why do you do what you do? So if I look at my book as an example, why is it so important? Well, I want to do my tour. I want to start 2020 with a tour of East Coast plus Texas plus Northern Mexico. I want to do my tour, and I want to do it around the book. This is the driving force, right? That on top of, I know the book will help. Like, so many people ask me the same questions over and over and over and over again, and I'm writing the answers in my book. People need it. It's going to help. It's going to be of massive value. And so I need to keep that in the back of my head, right? This is my thought process. Every time there's a no, every time somebody says they don't like it, they don't like the content, they don't like the material, we pass, it's not good enough. Remind yourself of the why you need to keep going. And then if you don't, you're going to regret it. And step number 3 is take more action. Just because one person said no, it doesn't mean there's not a yes out there for you. It's just taking more action. If I only took my book to 2 publishers, I'd be sitting here with no deal. I could throw in a towel and say, quit it, forget it, I'm going to move on to something else. No, I'm getting my deal. I'm going to make it happen. And even if every single publisher out there says no, I'll self-publish it and we'll go out on tour. Right? This has to happen, but it's not going to happen by thinking about it only, and it's not going to happen for sure by being negative and being down and being depressed about it. It's going to happen through massive action. I'm going to take massive action. So today we just submitted my new proposal to go to my literary agent, who's then going to pitch it out to publishers, and we're going to see what happens. And hopefully somebody says yes. And if not, what do? More massive action. Right? The world doesn't belong to the people who are depressed and sad and come up with excuses. The world belongs to the people who go out, believe in what they're doing, and take massive action against it.
Rule number 2, be the chief goal officer.
You need to be people's chief goal officer. If you want to move them into action, if you want them to win, you have to speak to them in their language and the things that they care about. The worst advice you could give somebody is what you would do. If you treat everybody who works with you and for you like the way you would be treated, you're going to lose forever. You're never going to build the organization you want, because people have different goals and it's your job to understand what they are. So I'm doing this tour right now, 90 days, 23 cities. I often get asked by people, hey Evan, what book should I read? What video do you recommend from your channel for an entrepreneur? I've done 6,000 videos. The worst advice I could give is to give a generic answer. The worst advice I could give is to one that I would watch. Like, here's a video that I love the most. For me to give a good answer to you, I need to know your problem. I need to be your chief goal officer. I need to understand what you're struggling with. I could give you the greatest book recommendation of all time, but if it's not the thing that you care about right now, it's not going to serve you. And so before you give advice, before you try to help somebody else out, be their chief goal officer. There's 2 ways to do it. Understand their who and understand their why. Their who is their most important one-word core value, and their why is their purpose, and their purpose comes from their pain. So look at their who. I'll use an example with Alex, who runs Toronto Dance Salsa for me. His who is belong. His one word is belong. He wants to create a place where people feel like they belong. It's the one word for him. It's a one word for TDS. I know that's what he really cares about. For me, belonging doesn't really matter. If I don't feel like I belong in a room, I'm not bothered by it. I don't care what other people think of me. It's so low down on my list of priorities and values of what I personally care about. But for him, it's number 1. He wants to make people feel like they belong. That's his one word, most important core value. That's his who. So I understand a little bit more about him. I understand how to push him. The next is your why. Your purpose comes from your pain. For him, he struggled so much in making friends and feeling accepted. He had super sweaty hands, and when he held a girl's hand, he would slide out because he sweat so much, and it tied into him never feeling like he belonged. And so this is now his purpose for life, is to help other people feel like they belong, that there's a space for them to come to and feel like they belong. His favorite movie of all time is Hercules, the Disney movie, the cartoon, where in that song they says something about a place where you belong. And when he hears that song, he cries. Great, this is Alex, right? I might play that song for myself and think, that's a good song. I might play that song for somebody else and they hate that song. Screw Hercules. Amazing. Everybody's different. You need to be their chief goal officer. So if I'm talking to Alex and trying to motivate and push him and have him build an amazing company that he's proud of, I'm gonna use words like belong. I'm gonna use movie references like Hercules. I'm gonna talk about creating a place where people can come together and feel like they're finally accepted, because that's at the core of what he's all about. That's me being his chief goal officer. And so you need to do that for everybody on your team. You need to do that for every customer that you work with. Stop treating everybody the same way. There's the classic rule of do unto others as you would have them do unto you, and that's great, and that's treating people with compassion and care and kindness. But everybody's motivated by different things. And if you can only treat people one way, the way that you would like to be treated, you're gonna only have success with a very narrow band of people. A very narrow band of customers, a very narrow band of employees, a very narrow band of partners. You're gonna stay in this tiny little lane your entire life and never build a huge company. But if you can learn to be somebody's chief goal officer, if you can learn to understand what drives them, moves them, pushes them, what their who is, what their why is, why they're here, what they're trying to accomplish, you start building an 8-lane superhighway, and you can build a company that can take over the world.
Rule number 3, tie your self-worth to the effort.
You need to tie your self-worth to the effort, not the results. If you tie your self-worth to the results, to achieving your goals, then you'll only take on things that you think you have a high chance of winning at. You'll constantly quit on your big goals and only go after the small ones. Tie your self-worth to trying, to the effort, to doing it when it's hard. Make yourself proud with the effort that you put in, not just when you win. But if you keep getting up every day and putting in effort that you are proud of, you will win on a level that you never thought was possible. So I just came back from doing my 90-day tour, 23 cities, and one of my goals was I wanted to stay healthy on my tour. One of my vices is it's hard for me to stay healthy when I travel. And that's okay when you're only going for a day or two or a week at a time. I ate whatever I wanted and then came back and got back on my healthy journey. But 90 days on the road, that's a lot of time. I could do a lot of damage if I ate like I normally ate. And so I wanted to feel proud of my effort of being able to eat healthy. And so I think it's good to take on difficult things. How do you become proud of your effort? You do things that are difficult to you. If it's easy and you win, you don't care. That's not how you build your self-esteem. But when it's hard and you do it, that's when you start to feel good about yourself. That's when you start to build your pride. That's where you build your self-confidence. And so one of the first stops that we made along the way in Ohio was at Raising Cane's. It's this famous chicken place where they told us you have to go to Raising Cane's. You have to go there. You've got to go. You've got to try their fried chicken. It's the best in the world. Great. At the end of my event, we went, but it wasn't my cheat day yet. Eating healthy, I had to pick 6 days a week. It wasn't my cheat day yet. And so we went. And I went in and I smelled the chicken, and Nina and Danny, my camera guy, went in and they bought it. And I said, Nina, can I have your chicken? I just want to hold it and I want to smell it. And so my mouth is running right now just thinking about it. I took her chicken. Instead of staying home and like you guys go out and eat, no, I want to come. I don't want to take the easy path. I want the difficult way. I want to be proud of my effort. So I took the chicken that she had and I brought it up to my nose and I took a big smell in. It was so good. My mouth was watering so much. And then they had this special sauce, this dipping sauce that I took and I brought it up again. Smelled it. I can smell it right now. And then I give it back to her. Not a single bite. Here you go. Enjoy your chicken. I'm proud of my effort. I'm patting myself on the back. I'm doing things that are difficult in service of my goals, in service of my ambition. But I'm proud of where I am right now, what I'm doing right now, and the small wins along the way. I'm proud of my effort. Now that may seem a little bit crazy of how to stick to a diet, but I think teaching yourself that you can't be around bad food is actually counterproductive. You're teaching yourself that you're not strong. When people say get rid of the junk food from your house, I think you're teaching yourself that you're not strong, that you can't be around it. And then as soon as you go on vacation, as soon as you go to an office party, as soon as you get out of your house, you're screwed. Because you're teaching yourself you have no tolerance, you have no resistance, that you are weak in this area. And so I want to combat that. I want to be proud of the effort I put in and gain strength along the way. And so when my friends are on a diet, I tell them the same thing. A buddy of mine, Mark Drager, is on a diet right now, and he wants to lose an extra 10 pounds. So I told him, here's what you do. Take your favorite food. What's your favorite food? And he said, cookies. Take your favorite food, bring it to the office. I want you to be around it. Be around the cookies. take a smell and then put it down and tell yourself that you are awesome.
I'm stronger than you. Cookies.
Because you're proud of your effort, because you're trying, because you're doing the difficult things instead of taking the easy way out and teaching yourself that you're weak. So how can you be proud of your effort and start making progress towards your goals? I'm gonna give you a 3-step process on how to do it. Step number 1 is pick a goal that you're having a hard time with. Pick a goal that you're having a hard time going off and doing. Not something easy, not something that's automatic, not something that you're doing every day that you could just check the box off and say, yay, I did it. When you do the easy things, you don't feel great about yourself. It's good, it's a little tiny win, but it's the difficult things. What's one goal that you're having a hard time right now accomplishing? Step number 2, ask how can you make yourself proud? What can you do today to make progress on that goal in a way that makes you proud? And that's different for everybody. What makes me proud might be different than you, but something that you could take, an action that you can do that would make you proud of your effort. I gave the same challenge to Alex, who's also on a diet. Alex helps me run Toronto Dance Salsa, and his vice is Big Macs. So I told him, go to McDonald's, order a Big Mac, order it. He loves a Big Mac sauce. Open up the case, smell it. Just smell that extra Big Mac sauce. Ask for the extra Big Mac sauce, so they have to make it fresh for you, right? Take it, smell it, and then go outside and give it to a homeless person because he loves acts of service. You smell it, you give it to a homeless person outside, and then you pat yourself on the back. That's what would make him proud. Take your goal, the one you've been having a hard time on, stop trying to take the easy way out on it, and do something that makes you proud of your effort. That when you come out of it, that difficult thing, you're gonna say, holy cow, I'm awesome. I can't believe I was capable of that. And you get up tomorrow, you do it again, you do it again, you do it again. Step number 3 is share it and celebrate. You just did something amazing. You just did something that you are proud of. Share it and celebrate it. Whether you want to post it to an Instagram story like Mark did, whether you want to just go tell your friends, whether you want to post it on Facebook, tell your best friend, tell your parents, celebrate it yourself. Just celebrate, put on music, dance, celebrate. You need to celebrate the things that make you feel proud, because when you celebrate it, when you tell people about it, when you keep doing it, it'll motivate you to keep on going. That momentum becomes important. That celebration, that sharing becomes important. And I don't think as entrepreneurs, we often celebrate enough about the effort. We may celebrate the results. Hey, I crossed 1 million views. Hey, I got X subscribers. Hey, I won this award. But what you should be celebrating is the effort of the work you're putting in when it's hard. So number 1, pick a goal you're having a hard time with. 2, find a way to make yourself proud on it today. And then 3, celebrate and share it.
Also, if you want to have more self-confidence and self-belief, the science says it can take up to 254 days of consecutive action for you to shift that habit forward. So I've designed a special free program to help you get more self-belief for every day. For 254 days, I will send you an email to an unlisted video that if you watch it, will shift your confidence forward. The links to join for free are in the description below.
So I highly recommend that you print off 20 to 30 copies of your book before it goes to final print, and just get feedback from people who are inside your target market and outside, just to get tips, suggestions.
Smash all of those things together, because that's the unique thing that only you can do.
Publishers do a little bit of work to help you. They try to line up a little bit of media and some of their contacts, but don't expect the publishers to do a lot. These days, it's really up to the author.
Rule number 4, enjoy the process.
I much more want to enjoy the process of the work that I'm doing than getting the end result. When I made my YouTube channel and we hit 1 million subscribers, everybody was asking me, what's the celebration? What are you guys gonna do? What's the plan? I don't know. I didn't need to celebrate. We ended up doing a live stream because I wanted to celebrate with you guys, because it was important for you. But for me, I don't care to celebrate. Like, let's keep going. This is the celebration. Making these videos is the celebration. Not getting the plaque, not crossing 1 million, not XYZ. I mean, results matter, of course, but the process, enjoying the process and doing difficult things is how I get myself to take action, not visualizing the end result.
Rule number 5, serve others.
If you are not happy in life, it's because you're not serving enough. I believe that humans are good. 99.999% of humans are good. There's a tiny little fraction of a percent of people who enjoy giving harm and hurting others. because they have some chemical imbalance. But apart from that, people are good and we are connected to each other. Your highest purpose in life will come from helping others. But the next question becomes, how? How do I do it? How do I find my higher purpose? How do I know what I'm supposed to do? How do I get direction? I'm going to give you the 3-step process that I call the purpose planner that will give you the clarity that you're looking for. I break it down into your who, your why, and your how. Let's start with the who. Your who is your one word, most important core value. Everybody has a core value. If you're a human being, you have a core value that you believe in more than anything else. And when you understand who you are, when you understand your single most important core value, then you're less likely to be swayed by other people. You're less likely to live somebody else's version of your life because they have clarity and you don't. When you do not have clarity, you end up chasing everybody else's clarity. You end up doing their version because they have certainty and you have no idea what you're doing. It's like you're walking on quicksand and you're constantly sinking and you know that there's something greater for you. Your one word, your most important core value is the rock that you stand on when the rest of the world is crumbling around you. So for me, it's believe. My one word is believe. That's what I stand on. If you love believe, you're going to be a huge fan of this channel because I talk about it in some form in every video. Every video should ooze believe. If you hate believe, you're probably gone by now. You hate my channel and that's okay. Go do your thing somewhere else. You need to figure out your who. You need to figure out what your one word, most important core value is. That becomes the lens through which you see your entire world and attracts the goodness into your life. Step number 2 is your why. Why do you do what you do? Now, I'm a big believer that your purpose comes from your pain. That whatever your most painful moment was in life, whatever you struggled with the most growing up in life, whatever moment in life you felt the most worthless as a human being, your highest purpose, your greatest joy and satisfaction will come from helping people who are currently feeling the way that you felt, who are currently facing that situation that you were in, that you hated. The thing that you would never wish upon anybody else in the world, lots of people are going through that thing. And if you can step in and help those people, that's going to be so filling up your soul, I can't even explain it to you. For me, my one word is believe. That's my who. My why is I struggled so much as an entrepreneur. I hated my life. I was struggling. I was making $300 a month. I felt worthless as a human. I felt like I was bringing no value to the world. And that was massively frustrating. I felt alone and I didn't know what to do. That's why I love helping entrepreneurs. I love believing in entrepreneurs. Why entrepreneurs? It could be anybody. I could believe in anybody. Believe is at the core of who I am. It's my one word, most important core value, but I could be believing in anybody. And I do, and I love it. But entrepreneurs hold that special spot for me. And the startup entrepreneurs, not the ones who are already making tons of money. I love them too, but I resonate so much more with the startup entrepreneurs because I remember what it's like eating at McDonald's and only being able to afford French fries instead of an entire meal. So your why, your purpose comes from your pain. Figure out what that most painful moment was for you. And it's hard because entrepreneurs, we like looking and being optimistic and looking forward and being positive, but it's in that pain that your answer actually is. Find out what that most painful moment was. Your why, your highest purpose will come from helping people who are currently facing that right now. And then step 3 is the how. So how are you going to do it? There's a lot of ways that you can help people who are in that situation. So for me, break it down. The who is my one word, is believe. The why is helping entrepreneurs. Purpose comes from my pain. Now, how do I help entrepreneurs? How do I believe in entrepreneurs? There's a ton of ways that I could be believing in entrepreneurs. So the example I use is if you are moving your office and you need my help to rent a moving truck and to help you carry your desks and all of that stuff. I love the end result of it. I love that now you have this great office where you can build a business and have it flourish. And I'll probably say yes to helping you do that, especially if you're a close friend. But I don't love the process of moving. I don't love the process of packing up boxes. I don't love the process of setting up cables and wires and putting together an office. I don't love that process. I love the result because I'm believing in entrepreneurs, but I don't love the process. And so if you write down, you make a list of all the things that you do, the activities that you have done, that you've enjoyed the result. Make a list of 10 to 15 times you've helped somebody with that same pain that you had growing up. You've helped them and you enjoyed the end result. And then circle the ones where you enjoyed the process as well. Because when you can enjoy the process and you enjoy the end result, it's a home run. Now you've found your higher purpose. Now you have clarity. Now you have a plan. That's the point of the purpose planner. Step 1, you figure out your who, your one word, most important core value. Step 2, you figure out your why, your purpose comes from your pain, the thing that you never want anybody to ever have to experience again because it was so painful for you. And then step 3 is the how, the process. You need to love the process. You figure out those 3 things, you are set for life.
Rule number 6, take ownership of your life.
If you woke up and did the thing that made you feel bold and unstoppable and powerful and confident every single day, if you started your day with that thing, your life would look dramatically different 1 year from today compared to where you currently are right now. The problem is most people wake up like an accident. Most people, they wake up, they check their phone, and they're immediately responding to other people's emergencies and demands on your time. You're not in control. You haven't decided to take control of your day, that your day is important, that your life is important, and you are going to take ownership of it. And so you need to block off the time in the morning. It may be 5 minutes, maybe you need 15, maybe you need an hour and a half, whatever it is. The thing that makes you feel bold, unstoppable, powerful, confident, fill your cup every single day, because other people have demands to your time and they won't fill your cup for you. You have to say, this is my ownership right here. Nobody's touching it. I'm taking charge. Now that looks different for different people. How Oprah does it is different than how I do it, is different than how Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson does it. Dwayne Johnson has to get his 4 hours of workout in every day. When he's working on a movie set and he has to be in by 9, he'll wake up at 4 in the morning so he can go work out for 4 hours and then go back and shower and get ready for his movie. So he's only sleeping 5 hours a day when he's doing movies. I think that's crazy. But to him, that's balance. That's him filling his cup. That's him reminding himself of what he's doing. He loves working out. That's why I don't look like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, right? There's a difference between us. I would rather sleep. I would rather do something else in the morning. And so we tend to look at what we're doing against somebody else. You tend to look at Oprah and say, well, she's doing it this way, I need to do that. Dwayne's doing it this way, I need to do that. Evan's doing it this way, I need to do that. You judge yourself against other people's routines and methods of filling their cup. And I think that's actually a recipe for failure, because you are not that person, because what works for them is not going to be the exact same thing that works for you. Here's the good news. You already know what fills your cup. You already know what makes you feel bold and alive and full of momentum and confidence. You have had that happen to you in the past. You're just not living there consistently. You know what has helped you feel full, but you're living there 1% of the time. And 99% of the time you spend reacting to other people, their demands, their emergencies, their issues for your time. And so, reverse engineer it for yourself. When was the last time you felt filled up, motivated, confident, bold, excited? What happened? What were you doing? What led to that thing to happen? Were you watching a video? Were you listening to a podcast? Were you reading a book? Were you going to an event, a seminar? Were you outside? You know, I'm sitting here on a swing here outside. Were you outside? Do you need to get out in nature? Do you need to meditate? Do you need to have a shower? Do you need to dance to music? Like, what's the thing? Without judgment, without caring if anybody else has to do that thing. Maybe you need to wake up every day and pet your frog, and that's the thing that makes you feel amazing. Great, do that. Plan for it every single morning, because I guarantee you, if you did the thing that helped fill your cup, that made you feel bold and unstoppable and confident and powerful, if all you did was wake up every day and did that thing, your life would be dramatically different 1 year from today compared to where you are right now. You will not recognize your life. So please stop waking up like an accident and put this into your morning routine every single day.
Rule number 7, the last one before our very special bonus clip, find your purpose.
Finding your purpose, guys, is not that difficult. It's not that difficult. It's one of the most common questions that I get. Here's how you do it. You think about the time in your life where you felt the most worthless. Think about the time, the lowest low that you've ever experienced in your life. What was that moment? Your purpose now, where you will get the most fulfilled of all time, will be helping people who are currently going through the thing that you went through. That's it. Think about the most painful moments of your life, the thing that you would never want to experience ever again. Think about the thing you would never wish upon your worst enemy, definitely not your friends, your family, your kids. Think about that moment. Your greatest purpose, your greatest enjoyment, your greatest fulfillment in life will come from helping people who are currently facing that thing that you faced. That is your purpose for life. It will never get old. Helping those people will never get tiring. I love helping entrepreneurs. Why? Why do I spend so much time helping entrepreneurs? Why am I doing my tour? Why am I posting 3 times a day on YouTube? Why am I posting 6 times a day on Instagram? Why do all this work helping entrepreneurs? Because I struggled so much as an entrepreneur myself. Because when I was 19 and started my business, and I was struggling and I was failing and I was making $300 a month, and I was too embarrassed to tell my friends that I couldn't barely survive, that I was making no money. When I turned down these high-paying jobs, I was embarrassed, I was ashamed. I told my business partner once that I quit, I felt so bad about myself as a human that once I made it, I built my business, I sold it, I had success. The greatest joy in life for me comes from still helping those pure startup entrepreneurs. I love helping people who've already made it get to the next level. I love helping somebody who has $1 million in revenue and help them get to 2 and 5 and 10. It's great. But I resonate so much more with the person who's just getting started, who's struggling, who's afraid, who's putting in tons of work and not seeing results. And that will be my purpose for life. You can find your purpose the exact same way and then have clarity for the rest of your life. And you don't have to chase one thing and then another thing and then another thing, and now I'm in it for money and now I'm in it for this. You don't have to do that. Here's where I really agree with Mel on chasing energy. I love the idea of chasing energy within your purpose. So you found out your why, right? That's your why. The next step is you figure out your how. The how is how are you going to fulfill it? So it's great that I love helping entrepreneurs. Amazing. How am I going to do that? There's a lot of different ways for me to do it. And that will change. And that's where I can chase energy. So as an example, I started with my website. I love the idea of having a place for people to come to and consume content and I had 100,000 plus pieces of content on my website. And then I started experimenting with YouTube just as something to test and play around with. And I love that even more. And so eventually I shut down my website. I closed my 8 people who were on that team, brought them all over to YouTube, then scaled my team to have 24 people who's helping me with my YouTube business because that was where my energy was going. The website could still work. There's lots of ways to win, but my energy was over here. I love YouTube. I love making videos much more than writing content. Recently, in the past 6 months, I felt a lot of energy going to my Instagram. Why did I pick up Instagram? Why have I gone so hardcore on Instagram? Because I went on and I did an Instagram live session. And I realized that when you did Instagram live, you could bring people in picture in picture. That I could be coaching and helping somebody from my place in Toronto to somebody here in Columbus where I'm at now, or Chicago, or Zambia, or anywhere in the world. And I could see them. Because when you get text questions on a YouTube live, you can't go deep, you can't get the context, you can't ask back and forth. Because it's very rarely the question that somebody comes in at with the actual question that's buried deep below, the thing that they actually need to work on. But when you have them picture in picture, and I'm a visual learner, so I love being able to see people's reactions, when I can see them there, I can help them a lot more. And that Instagram live alone is the thing that got me to play a much bigger game than Instagram. In the past 6 months, have grown my account from 8,000 followers or so to 100,000 now. My energy is going there. And so where the energy goes, right, results will follow. But it's still within my purpose of helping entrepreneurs. And so you don't have to stumble around through life chasing one thing and then the next and the next. When you have your clarity of purpose, it makes everything so much easier. But then chase the energy within that purpose because the how will change a million times. Because YouTube for me won't be around in 10 years. Maybe it's still here, but it won't be the same thing. Eventually it's gonna be Evan coming to you in holographic format, or it's gonna be VR Evan coming at you. But it's my purpose for life to help entrepreneurs. And you can figure out yours just as easily. Go to that deepest moment, go to the most painful moment. That's gonna be your purpose forever. Helping other people never have to experience that thing that you felt worthless for. That's it. Now I've got a special bonus clip that I think you're gonna enjoy. But before that, it's time for the question of the day. I wanna know what was your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week. When you watch a video and just get motivated, the science says you have a 35% chance of actually following through on your goals. That's not good enough. No, not for you, Believe Nation. We gotta do something. But when you write it down and you create a specific plan of action for the next week, that number jumps to 91% chance of you following through. And when you commit to somebody else, like leaving a comment on this video, it jumps to 95%. You need to follow through on your goals. So what was your single biggest takeaway from this video and your specific plan of action for the next week? Put it down in the comments below so I can celebrate you. So I love the story of Colonel Sanders. He's one of my favorite stories and examples to give of an older entrepreneur. This guy didn't really start franchising his business, KFC, until he was in his 60s, and didn't really become an icon or someone super well known until he was in his 70s. How many people quit too soon on their business? I can't tell you how many people come up to me and say, Evan,
I'm 25 years old. Is it too late to get started? Like, what are you talking about? And really just comes down to just your belief system. Here was a guy who was 62 years old when he was franchising KFC, where a lot of people would be saying, I'm getting ready to retire, I'm getting ready to slow down, I'm getting ready to wind things up, just ease into the rest of my life. And he was a guy who said, no, I'm gonna crush it. I'm just getting started. I want to build an empire, right? And this really comes down to whether you believe it can happen or it can happen. You're right. If you believe at 62 years old that you're too old to get started on something new, then you're right and you won't take action. But if you believe that age is just a number and 62 means you've got lots of experience and you're ready to go crush some new project, then you're right as well. And so you have to be really careful to pay attention to the story that you're telling yourself, because a lot of times we're holding ourselves back with these excuses of we're too old, we're too young, we come from the wrong country, we don't have the right education, you don't have the right parents, on and on and on. And as long as you believe that reinforcing story, then it's going to continue to perpetuate. Now, in terms of don't quitting, there's a lot of advice saying don't quit, don't quit, don't quit, don't quit. You should not quit when it's your dream. When this is something that you really, 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 really want to do, then you can't quit on it. But if it's something that you've lost the passion for, you don't feel energized by it anymore, it feels like work to show up, then that's when you quit. And so when people ask me, should I quit this thing or not? Well, is it still your dream? Are you still passionate about it? Are you still excited about it? Because if you are, then you enjoy the process. And yes, you want to get the results, and yes, you want to win, and yes, you want to make the money, and yes, you want to have that impact, but you still enjoy the process. I like making YouTube videos. This is fun for me. It's enjoyable for me. I'm growing through it. And even if I wasn't on the path to hitting 1 million subscribers, I would still be doing it because I love doing it. And if I was on the path to hitting 1 million subscribers and I stopped liking it, then I would leave. I would sell it. I would go do something else, because you cannot do great things when you don't love what you do. And so as long as it's still your passion, as long as it's still your dream, you have to keep going, or you're going to live the rest of your life in regret. But if you've lost that passion, then get out immediately and go do something else that does bring you excitement, joy, energy, and fulfillment.
If you want to learn the number one thing you need to figure it out in your life, check out the video next to me. I think you're going to enjoy. Continue to believe. I will see you there.
Most people suck at creating work-life balance or harmony because you're constantly comparing what you're doing to other people's schedules. Of all the things that you need to figure out in life,